Hey, it's me, Sheldon. Um, yeah, I'm kind of convinced that um there's some bizarre movement going on. Um, Obviously, the black churches, I think they're falling apart. They're no offense, but there's to at least be aware of leadership or likable leadership. But the thing is, I haven't seen anything likable to the point where I'm getting the feeling of there's this fixed spectrum of an intruder where it's throwing off the true character of what's out there. So it's at least be honest, or um, I have there's a black man that's it's really bad for the church that is actually pushing away. It's almost as if, no offense, but I almost feel there's an audience. Some didn't have enough to convince there's enough to have respect. The feeling that there's a mindset of a person that's irritating, and it's obviously just be aware of it because I'm getting an idea that there's a black guy that's becoming a nuisance, but there's also a guy that works at a gym, Pure Hot Yoga. His name is Coach Marco, and I'm kind of convinced that he might have given me threats also. I think he's part of Mexican mafia or Rosa Torres's, but the thing is, she has a rude mindset where she tries to think she can find someone to beat me up. She's done it before. Um, so I never told my own father that. The thing is, my father doesn't have a mindset to have concern. So back in the day, it used to be, but nowadays, I'm kind of convinced that man. So when I'm trying to speak my mind, it's getting pretty bad because the feeling of is a group of police officers that are actually trying to use a neural network, but it seems like these are mindsets that are actually rapists, at least have commit rapists, or at least have raped somebody in that way. I'm getting a bit tongue tied, but the thing is because there's an open conversation right over me. There's ways to prove it. There's a spectrum talking and mirroring my devices. That's mirroring. But the thing is, it's sharing an inertia with the community that may have committed rape, and that's why it kind of, you know, it push it kind of creates a feeling of stigma. Um, if there was a son of Jesus, had the feeling that it's a mindset of going through his own impulse, I guess it really pushes a crowd away in mass numbers to the point where religious people do make people suffer, or even so. It's to the point where they can't respect one another because the mindset refused to grant that respect. The feeling so the feeling that there is a intruder. It's awful. Yeah, I can imagine baby Jesus talking about, or him growing up. There's a person that showing a mindset of a rapist into his own mindset, and then the audience has to have to go through it, and then go through the same mindset or even the same trend of someone that. So it's as if there's a pimp or even the police station. It's almost like the Terminator 2, because you see the missing children in the Terminator, and then there is a religion that defends a certain identity, a certain group, but attacks. It seems as if they attack a police station because the police station may be the one that is a bigger criminal or has connection to cybercrime, or at least has committed a crime. And um, and to make it appear that I don't necessarily commit the crime, but the person is using a fixed spectrum to commit a crime against me. They're fixing the spectrum, so this police station, or the feeling that there is a I don't feel like I'm mentally challenged. I'm telling you, explaining there's a rapist mindset, there's a cyber ring, a feeling of breach of security, mirroring my devices, and their mindset is starting to share impulse through my devices, and it started to actually be noticeable. I can hear this guy voice that sounds. It's the only person that Rosa knows. It's the only person that walks in the home. It's not a relative. I'm kind of convinced there's from every person that knows Rosa Torres is possibly some kind of. It's as if they're part of some kind of mafia, or they're feeling that there's a cyber ring. I don't feel mentally challenged, but these officers, as if they're part of the mafia or something, because it's as if when every time when they show up, they don't want to have conversation with me. They're talking with her, but the feeling as if now they have to act as if it's discreet. And every time when I confront them, then they just want to walk away right away. But I'm kind of convinced that there's a real mafia that is the cyber ring that is spying on me. And I said, as a level four son of a level four officer, you should be have a claim to some type of safety, or at least some actually do have a chance to move in retirement areas. And you're not necessarily convinced that you would actually be in a witness protection. Oh, you think in retirement you'd be so much more actually a little bit more peace of mind. But the thing is, the bad part is the good bad part is there might be a transition, but the thing is, I mean, it's iffy because I sound like the same guy that already has a bad. But the bad part is, I mean, for someone that is this uh, that is kind of norm, and it doesn't I'm seeking it's norm to seek a wingman, to seek a marriage. I kind of don't necessarily mindset to actually go for a hooker, or even to turn to force someone into that lifestyle. Or it definitely makes it feel like there's ransom involved. There's a pimp looking to have some ransom over profit over to gain out of it's something else. It feels different, because the reason why I say that, because they had to alter our mindset. It's almost like the feeling in order to convince. Because some mindsets want marriage, and then to target through a cyber ring and through a police station or a mafia, then it's a big issue, because then it's like this. It's to the point where if there's government corruption, then there's a mafia in Congress, there's a mafia in possibly in president, and now it's to the point where there is a nuisance to actually America, the feeling uh, that this rethink, for the family, even level four, it definitely feels that being targeted, but as if there are other correctional officers. That's why I said it's supposed to be a super corrupted area, Del Norte County, also, but also Sacramento. But the thing is, I'm getting the feeling that I didn't commit the crime, and someone's trying to so. And I'm getting the impression when I'm trying to express myself, there's a whole nother person talking over me. And then it doesn't necessarily mean you're stupid. It's just blurring the heck out of my own conscience. But the thing is, yeah, it's definitely making it feel like there's sexual discrimination involved, because there's a cyberbully to create induced chemical, and the feeling that some families aren't all together. There's some men that are seeking a marriage also, but the bad part when there's a cyber pimp targeting a family that it hasn't really formed a relationship or even gained marriage yet, to the point where it alters them to at risk of some kind of mafia targeting the feeling that there's a ransom involved, or the feeling that there is a community being targeted through a cyber ring. The school, if I walk in front of the school or each school and I tell them what I was going on, I kind of convinced that these police officers are involved. It's to the point where if I'm walking everywhere, I'm being spied on, but there's a nuisance, and I feel like there's a rapist sharing mindset with me because sometimes it's normal to actually seek relationship or even to attract marriage or even try to get off to something. One day you will find a female yourself. But the thing is, when I'm looking at adult images, or I'm getting the impression that there's a cyber ring, or a cyber pimp that actually has raped somebody, and then it throws off the whole inertia of my own mindset because it's as if you're seeking to have marriage, you're seeking to have children, you're seeking to have some kind of girlfriend, but it's as if there's a cyber pimp that doesn't want me to have a girlfriend, and I feel like there's so many friends of Rosa Torres that is part of a mafia that doesn't want me to have a girlfriend, a real mafia, like a mafia that wants to kill me. So, and I kind of convinced that Rosa's guilty. It's our Rosa Irene Torres, um, and the feeling of she denies her Cuban ancestry. She's from Chihuahua. Um, I have a father that's Wisconsin. It's German, Welsh, Irish, English. The thing is, I'm maturing, and it's norm to seek a wingman that might have an ego mindset, or at least to eventually might transition to something likable, or at least to convince that it's a guy that's okay to hang around with. The thing is, I'm being pushed away by a cyber ring, and they're making excuses of it's mental illness. And if I walk in front of schools, and I kind of convince my father is one of the biggest criminals that is helping a real ransom. So they're using the feeling of a father that it's almost as if they're using a feeling of I'm kind of convinced my father committed a crime, but then my own country is going to keep denying it. The thing is, that's where things kind of collapse because it's like it makes it feel like the concern or the trust isn't really any much trust. We're convinced that it's not normal I mean, it's just me, but it's also other neighbors also, man. And then it seems as if there's so many neighbors on the street have moved out where they made it their own cyber ring. They made a whole cyber ring on Springmont because that's just way too many neighbors that stay home. That's not necessarily normal. Um, at least on Springmont. If I walk behind the other side, I'm not so sure, but at least it seems like Springmont has too many people that either work on the same street or live on the same street, or it's not necessarily normal. I've been interested in finding partnership or even having some type of financial gain, and it's as if the people, my mother is working some type of mafia that doesn't necessarily want me to have financial gain, and I kind of convinced she's extremely guilty, and it seems Don and then Wayne Alamatum. But I'm getting the feeling that there's a ransom involved. There's a real ransom. I kind of convinced that Rosa might have seen someone, another female, get beat up. And she didn't do nothing about it, and she stays home quite often. So yeah, I am. It's interesting to have gain friendship where it's not normal to know the people are pushing away from you, but the feeling that there's a spectrum that broadcasting that it's like a pirate spectrum, um, outside to inside, that is overlapping. Um, and Yeah, so I kind of convinced that I'm under danger, but the thing is, I kind of convinced that Russia is using the feeling of an EMF weapon, and Rosa doesn't necessarily understand Russia has this same technology that could cause harm. But I'm not really frightened. I'm the mindsets are treasure. I wasn't really looking for the tool. I was more the mindset is actually where you have all the passwords and everything. The thing is, I'm not I'm feeling like it's normal to look in um or at least a wingman at least because man I'm having a tough time of clarity. The feeling that there's a server ring interrupting, and even if to feel interest, it's the feeling that it fogs mind when you have intruder overlapping or a pirate spectrum overlapping. So then this one, it doesn't mean you're dumb. It is you get the idea. If you're interested in having skill thought, that means that there is a person bridging that's pushing away skill thought. Doesn't mean you're dumb.